Hey, what's up, guys? My name is Terrence Blackwell with Blackwell Legacy Group, and we help startup and small businesses get started by showing them how to systemize their business and also scale and grow. Today, we have an interview with Markeisha Minor. She is the owner of Blocal Search, and she's been doing amazing things in the community. So, thank you, Markeisha, for doing this interview with me.
Thank you, Terrence. I appreciate it. You know I do.
Yep, most definitely. So just real quick, just kind of introduce yourself and just tell people who you are and what make you so important, to start this company that you have.
All right. So everybody, as Terrence introduced me, I am Markeisha, and I have what I'm mainly known for, which is you'll see why. I have Blocal Search, which is a nationwide directory and app, and it can be used to locate businesses, Black-owned businesses all over the country. All right, so I'm pushing close to 5,000 businesses that are listed, and these are Black-owned businesses, and over 22,000 downloads. So I think I'm getting really, really close to 23,000. So I'm excited about that. And also what I do is I work with these businesses one-on-one to be able to build in whatever way they need. As business owners, as an entrepreneur, I've learned that there are so many things that need to be in place when it comes to operating a successful business. So I've learned that firsthand. I'm still growing myself. So everything that I'm learning and I'm doing, I'm making sure to pass that on to the business owners, to the entrepreneurs. And it's been so much that I know that I've learned just from our conversations and us working together over the last, I think it's been a year now. I think we first connected in January of last year. I decided it was time for me to get a business plan. I had been operating for a year without one, doing great, but I knew that it was time to take it to the next level. And we were able to connect through another partnership that I had with a friend, and she was working with you as well. And she put in a good word, and everything that she said, you lived up to it and exceeded my expectations for sure.
Thank you. That's a good point too. So tell people how long you've been in business.
It's been 2 years. It was 2 years in December of 2021. So I know we're in the new year. So it's been 2 years now.
That's big. So the growth that you've seen within this 2 years is amazing. Just to have 20,000 people that have downloaded your app, 20,000 people on social media, like that's an amazing feat to have.
Yes, social media it's a beast in itself. So
it is.
Definitely took some hard work, took some investments, took some just working with other people who were teaching me the ins and outs of social media. But all the hard work definitely was hard work. It's paid off for sure.
And you touched on this point too. Tell me the importance of partnerships.
Partnerships are everything, honestly, because what you don't know, and it's something that you don't know, or what you don't have, or maybe what you don't have to have, you can find somewhere else. I've definitely learned the power in outsourcing. I used to be the person that thought that they had to do it all just by nature, but I've learned that you don't. So I've been able to start to build my team. I've been able to connect with other people. I've been able to partner with people to fill in those blanks where I'm not the best, or to fill in those blanks where I just don't want to do it. To figure out, what's my lane and staying in that, so the word partner, it can be used loosely, or it could be something more concrete. But, literally when I think of partnership or collaboration or, just any type of connection, it's working with somebody, just having that synergy where you're putting out, they're putting out, but you're also receiving from them and vice versa.
Yeah, that's huge. I think sometimes when people look at partnerships or they hear the word partnerships, they think about it from an aspect of, sometimes we may think about it from, a spouse or something like that. Yeah. But partnerships can be used in so many different ways. And also, building your team up, you made this point as well. Building your team doesn't have to be people that you physically employ on a day-to-day basis or weekly basis. Building your team can be people like your accountants, your lawyers, your, coaches, your, vendors. It can be so many different aspects of partnerships and teams that you can really use to really build and grow your business. So that's a very valid point. Very valid point. So what made you start this business? What made you say, this is a need, this is something that I feel like I'm the person to do it. This is something that people aren't getting. What made you start the business?
So I always say it was kind of more so of just a leading. Um, Definitely getting here. Now that I'm here is taking more intentional decisions and work and planning and everything. But I've always just been a giver by nature, wanting to help others. I'm sure that arises from different things that I've gone through in life. But I've just always wanted to be a resource to people, and I have, just naturally. So it started way back when. I want to say it's been over 10 years, 10 years ago. I started off by doing resumes for people, just doing, odd things, but resumes was the biggest thing. And so from there, I started doing larger tasks with helping other people. It was when I did probably the biggest project. I was able to help someone, I'm a friend of the family for them. And it wasn't a job, so I don't want to call her a client, even though she is now, but I helped her to publish her first book. And when I tell you, yes, it was huge. It was huge. And we got it all done in like maybe 2-3 months. Illustrations, editing, publishing, everything. The book was done. I remember her telling me, like, she came, she had these papers with everything written out that she just had for years. And she would always say, she'd let people know about her books and her message that she wanted to get out, everything about her mission. And, nobody ever really helped her get to the next step. So, I told her, well, you got the right person today, because if somebody wants to get something done, I'm like, why not? It's possible. You just have to figure out how. So I'd never published a book before. I had never edited a book. I'd never done anything, so I did read through and edit for I, pretty good with English. I used to want to be a journalist and all this stuff. So I was able to edit it for her. Then just got on Google, good old Google University. Find whatever it is you need. It's just an encyclopedia of stuff. One of the best resources that are out there if you have nothing else. And so we found somebody to do her illustrations, found a publishing company. And, I just told her what needed to be done. She invested what needed to be invested, and it worked out. So from there, I saw that there's a need for people to get stuff done. It's a need for people to get help to get that stuff done because they don't know where to go, where to start. And, I'm just naturally a savvy person and naturally a person that wants to help. So when I look back at all of the work that I did for her, I enjoyed it, but I also saw that it took a lot of time, and even though I'm a near and dear friend of the family, I really felt like I know she's trying to keep on going with this. I'm gonna have to ask her to pay. And I struggled with it, because she's done so much for me. And I lie to you not, the day when I decided I was gonna have the conversation, she called me first. Yes, and she said that she was going to pay me, and I was like, "Look at God!" So I'm like,
"Okay." That's how it worked.
So she was my first client, and I started the Dreamcatcher Consulting Agency, and I was consulting. I was helping people with different projects, different businesses, different ideas, whatever it is. My slogan was, we make your dreams come true. Whatever that dream is, we're gonna make it happen. So after I started picking up some more clients, all of them were African Americans. And so except for one that I was talking to, but the majority are African Americans. And, I was just doing little stuff for them. Now I don't want to say little, let me take that. I was doing.
No, that's big. You helping with books and stuff. That's big.
I was doing some stuff for them and getting some things done. And as we were getting the things done, they had quality services, quality products, like we got them there. And then the issue was just getting people to them, getting them in front of people. But what I had been doing in the interim, I was referring them to each other. I had a photographer I was working with. I would send people to her if they needed something. It was kind of a one-off situation. I knew a fashion designer just in my crossings and in my friend network. And so I referred one of my clients to her. And literally, it was just stuff like that. If I knew somebody, I'm like, hey, go to such and
talk to this person.
And so I just saw how many connections I was making alone. And, and starting then, like, I didn't really know all the business ins and outs. I didn't know the word scaling, but what I knew was that, okay, I see the little bit of what I'm doing. I want to be able to do more, but I can't talk to everybody, you know, so why don't I start putting everybody I know in a database so that somebody else can just jump in, look for what they need and get it. So that's where the idea started, to create a directory. At first, it was going to be a business-to-business directory for Black-owned businesses. But my mind, I take something, go from 0 to 100 like that. So I was like, you know what? I don't want it to be just business-to-business. So I wanted it to include consumers as well that wanted to support Black-owned. So that's where Blocal Search came from in a nutshell.
That's amazing. And you spoke on it too, like when you first started, you know, when the company was Dreamcatcher. And, you know, it's amazing because you're still doing the same thing. You're still, you know, helping people achieve their goals and dreams. So, you know, so I always say, like, you know, I'm proud of you, and I'm happy for the businesses you created, because you're putting so many people in connection with each other that wouldn't have been connected. So, you know, you're definitely a gem in the communities, and we appreciate you.
Thank you so much.
Yeah, you're welcome.
Likewise.
So, thank you. I appreciate it. So tell me, what book are you currently reading, or tell me about a book that you have read in the past that you would recommend to people.
So I talk about the 2 books that I'm reading now. And these 2 books have been sitting on my bookshelf for years and years. I won't say years, maybe a couple years, you know, I won't make myself seem that bad, but they've been sitting. I've had them, and I finally decided to pick them up. So it's 2 of them. The one, first one is The Power of Now. So that author, I want to say that's Eckhart Tolle, and the other is The Purpose-Driven Life. So both are very good books. Very, very enlightening. Trying to think of some other adjectives. Really what I want to say is that they're making me think. They're making me reflect. And also they're making me put some action behind all of this reflection and insight that I'm receiving. And that's what I really need, because, you know, we learn every day. We're given advice every day, but, you know, how often are you acting on it? And 100%. So I'm liking these 2 books because, you know, I feel like I'm ready to receive what it is that they're saying. And The Power of Now, that one book that says it all, the power of now, you know, being present, staying in the moment, doing what needs to be done, and, you know, really just kind of sitting with yourself. And it has some other gems in there as well. Then The Purpose-Driven Life. So that book, that is a Christian-based book, but that one is just, it says The Purpose-Driven Life, focusing on your purpose, but, you know, not just looking at yourself, but looking at what's on the outside of you. Looking at how you can connect to those that are around you, you know, connect to a higher power, and, you know, really just take a look at, why am I here? You know, what is it that I'm supposed to be doing? So yeah, both are definitely very inspirational books to, you know, put a little fire under you if you're looking for some momentum.
That's good. I've read Purpose-Driven Life a couple years ago. I remember it being a really good book. So I just finished a book yesterday. It was referred to me by our mutual friend. And it's called Profit First. I can't remember the author's name. And when I tell you, so I put it on it's like 5 hours. I did the audiobook. And I put it on yesterday, and while I'm working in the background, I'm like 20 minutes in, I'm like, whoa, like, it was such a great book, you know, because I think what it talks about is, it's so crazy. It changes the whole paradigm of how business works. So typically, you know, businesses, revenue minus expenses equals profit, right? So the theory that he teaches is revenue minus profits equals expenses. So this is a book for business owners, and it tells you like how to like allocate everything to make sure that you as a business owner profit each month, and then also how to pay yourself as a business owner. So
I like that already.
So and it resonates with so many business owners, because I think a lot of times we get so stuck in the rigmarole of business. And when we decide to like scale and grow, the first thing that we do is we accumulate more debt, business debt, right? And
is that the right way to do it?
No.
Okay.
It
That was
shouldn't be.
a strong no. Okay.
Yeah, it shouldn't be. And I'm gonna tell you why. And I see myself do this as well.
Okay.
So it could be something as simple as, all right, I want to create some funnels, right?
Mm-hmm.
So now I have to go get a software that has funnels, right?
Mm-hmm.
Now because I had that software for funnels, now I need this for automations. Now I got to have a software for. So now you have these two extra expenses for your business that you didn't have before, just because I want to produce more income.
And the income's not coming in yet.
Right, it's not coming in yet. You get it. So like it was an amazing book from that aspect, because it really broke down, how we look at business and how we should look at business. And this guy, he talks about his business. I mean, in the book, he talked about he had a business where a very lucrative business, and he ended up, somebody bought it. And because someone bought the business, he had like, a boatload of money. So he went and just bought random other businesses. And he didn't know anything about the businesses he bought. And now I don't want to tell you too much of the book.
Okay, yes, I'm all right. I'm intrigued, but
this book was good.
Okay.
So he bought all these different businesses, and then next thing he know, like he wake up one day and he has like $15,000 left. Now, mind you, he sold his business for millions, and now he has like $15,000 left. And his accountant, right? so he's like, oh my God, like what do I do? Yeah. And his accountant called him. He's like, hey, I just done your taxes. Good news is only $28,000 to do them. He's like, oh crap, I only have 15.
Right.
So then he was like, then you had to pay me 2,000. And so he's like, I'm in the hole, right?
Yeah. That's crazy.
It is crazy, but it resonates so well because we do it a lot, in business. Yeah. And it's a nugget that I took from it too, as a coach, where I have to be mindful of that too when I'm helping clients to make sure they don't do the same thing.
Right.
So yeah, great book. So go check it out when you get a chance.
I will, because it seems like, I'm trying to get better with my words, and, the initial response is that's crazy, but that also seems like that's something that didn't have to happen.
That's true.
It was very unnecessary, but I'm pretty sure it was a learning experience.
Definitely a learning experience
for that gentleman, because one thing I know for sure is that he's probably never going to do that again.
Never.
It was a costly mistake, but probably an invaluable lesson. Whichever way you want to look at it.
One of the good things too about people that are able to make, millions and millions, like the good thing about it is it's a tool, right? Money is a tool, so you just look at it from an aspect of, all right, if I did it before, I can do it again. Yeah. So, you just kind of get the habit of like, what do I need to do to make money? Yeah. Now, so he knows how to make money. So now the thing is how to make it correctly and keep it. So, I think that was a great point of the book, just kind of, making the right step.
Okay. Yeah. I'm definitely going to check that out. Profit first, right?
Profit first. Yep. Great book. So look, I don't want to hold you in too much more of your time. So let's talk about goals for 2022, and then I'm gonna let you go. So what goals do you have right now for 2022?
Goals. Okay. First goal is to set goals.
Okay.
Yes, okay. I've always been going with the flow, just paying attention to that squeaky wheel, whatever fires are in front of me, and just really living like that. And yes, the squeaky wheel is no longer making noise and the fire is not there, but typically it was other people's squeaky wheels and other people's fires, and then they're good, and then I'm looking like, okay, probably don't even have time, energy, money, just anything left for myself. So the goal is to start setting goals, small goals, small attainable goals, because I also don't want to set something up here either, and set myself up for failure. So to set the right goals and to also just be more organized, more structured, have some plans. I've been doing very well with my schedule book. Good. So that's the goal, and just to be more wise with my time, more productive. Okay. There was a YouTube video that I was listening to where it was saying everybody's lowest denominator is time. We all have literally the same seconds, minutes, hours, and days. That's the lowest denominator amongst us all. So I definitely want to be more wise with my time.
Yeah.
I want to schedule things out, not really keep to-do lists. Something else from that video was saying like how to-do lists are just more so of like wishful thing. I can't remember how they put it, but it made sense where it's like you want and you hope to get that done. But if you don't put it on your scheduler and say, I'm going to do it this day at this time, it's probably going to stay on that to-do list. So really just changing my perspective about time in that realm. So all of that is falling under the organization piece. And I definitely want to have that to translate over into business, to be more organized with systems and processes. So that's where I'm starting for now. As far as what the goal comes with goals, because I don't want to have too much, because the arching goal for 2022 is to just be more intentional, and to start, checking some boxes, not just being excited when something great happens. I want to be excited because I made it happen, because I planned for it. So that's what I have in mind for 2022.
That's good. And that's a nugget too, just kind of making sure you set goals. I think that's major. A lot of times as business owners, I think we forget first thing is hard to separate the two, especially if you're a full-time entrepreneur, it's hard to separate the two, which is your personal life and the business. And then just kind of making sure that you set goals for both. So that's definitely a good nugget to have.
Thank you. I'm holding that close to my heart. I'm glad that I heard it. Some just told me I was scrolling through videos and just happened to click on that one. So
good. All right, Markeisha, well, I really appreciate your time. Thank you for doing this interview with me. It's been a great interview. I appreciate you, and thank you for everything that you're doing for the community.
Thank you, and likewise, I'm glad that we were able to make this connection, and to keep this going over into 2022. So thank 100%. You for having me.
No problem. All right, talk to you later.
All right, have a good one.